constituents. The National Urban League just completed its report on the state of Black America. What did you find, and how does it relate to this race?
Thank you for having me. So we looked at three different things. Number one is the 60th anniversary since the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And one question is, has the nation changed? Has it had an impact? Look at this panel, look at this newsroom. Look at America, look at the Congress. The change for people of color and women has been absolutely profound. And that has to be underscored. However, we also looked at disparities between Black and white Americans. And those disparities, notwithstanding the change, have not significantly narrowed, particularly in the last 20 years. Only a narrowing of maybe a few percentage points. At this rate, we're 180 years away from parity. Number two, we note the attacks on this progress. They come in the form of voter suppression, voter purges, attacks on democracy, attacks on equal opportunity and DE&I, a banning of books, attacks to try to thwart this progress. And thirdly, we did a Biden Black scorecard to look at his promises and his performance. And what it told us is that here was someone who made commitments to Black America, written, specific, enumerated, and someone who substantially followed through on many of those commitments with a list of unfinished business. Voting rights, living wages, child tax credit, justice, and police accountability.
Well, you know, and that's so notable because, Sarah Fagan, look at this. If you look at Black adults who identify as Republican or Republican leaning, it's grown 6 points since 2021. Mark lays out what's been accomplished, but says there's still work that needs to be done. Why do you think we're seeing that?
Well, I think it's a couple reasons. I think primarily it's economic. I mean, if we're coming out of this very high inflationary period. It's cooled, but still, you know, food costs, housing costs, these are higher percentages of people's take-home budgets. And so if you're a working class American of any color, you have really been impacted by that. And so voters overwhelmingly consider the Trump economy to have worked better for them than the Biden economy. And so that's affected Black Americans. But I also think on cultural issues as well, there's a percentage of Black Americans that looks at the progressive wing of the Democratic Party and says, I don't have much in common with voters, with elected officials who believe abortion should be available on demand up to the 9th month, and on some of these gender issues. They're more aligned with a conservative viewpoint than they are the progressive wing of the Democratic Party.
There's no doubt the
I'll
culture
say this,
is.
and I think this is important. Let's not obsess over February polls. If we had followed February polls, there'd be no President Reagan, no President Clinton, no President Obama. These polls don't mean anything because the campaign is beginning and engagement with voters is now starting.
We've got a long way to go. Kelly, how does the campaign deal with this? And obviously, we've been talking about debates a lot. I mean, this is a chance for them to reach out to all voters.
Well, from the Trump side, talking to people there, they're saying anywhere, anytime, any moderator, and it is their intention to make it very difficult for Joe Biden's team to say no to debating. The Biden campaign says this is about distraction. This is about the Trump taunt of 2024 about debating. There'll be a time and a place for that. One of the things that I think the Biden team is doing right now, which is addressing what we're talking about this conversation, is what I call micro events, where they go into a family's home, they shoot a video there, they talk to a small business owner, and you think, why would the president give an hour to a couple of ordinary citizens? Well, they want to have them see him as he is warm and engaging in their view, that they can assess his age, and then they are able to communicate in their communities to be advocates down the line.
Eugene, final point. You've got the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, all of that is exactly right. They want this president to be seen as someone who's helping the everyday Americans. And when you have those Black voters, and I've talked to the folks that he's talked to, they feel differently about them. And now you have the president explaining the kinds of things that he has done for them. And that's something that this administration has kind of failed to do. We have a lot of time to go before that ends, but they're going to keep doing that.
All right. Great conversation. That is all for